Hi, I'm Dr. Ron Miller, and welcome to Pursuit Physical Therapy. Today we're going over CrossFit injuries and why do CrossFit injuries occur, and what is the number one thing or the most important factor that you need to solve to resolve your pain or injury to get back to doing CrossFit. Now, I'm sorry to say it's not that simple of just having one thing and you'll solve it and you'll go back to doing CrossFit pain-free. Let's face it, CrossFit is a high-risk sport. It predisposes a lot of people to getting injured. But you can, if you have the proper mechanics, the proper strength, you can do CrossFit and train hard and be pain-free. It's just when you have flaws or impairments that are present, performing CrossFit will maybe predispose you to getting injured. But if you can solve the problem before it happens, that's even better. But today we're going over three main principles of why CrossFit injuries occur and what may be present right now with you having a CrossFit injury. Okay, so number one is training errors. Number two is structural problems. Number three is biomechanics. So let's start with biomechanics. When you're performing a snatch or an overhead lift or a kipping pull-up, are you doing the proper mechanics? Having faulty mechanics or getting to if you're fatigued and you have to pound out some more clean and jerk, snatches, etc., your mechanics will break down as you reach fatigue. So being aware of mechanics, are you doing the deadlift properly? Are you correctly hip hinging when you're doing that? So looking at mechanics and your functional movements will kind of predispose you to, hey, you're not hip hinging correctly with your deadlift. Hey, you're doing this, you're lacking a lot of shoulder mobility that's causing you to get shoulder pain with an overhead snatch. Being aware of mechanics, and this is stuff that your trainers there can also help with. Number two would be structural errors. Are you lacking flexibility? Are you lacking muscle strength to perform a task? Do you have poor glute activation? Are you lacking mobility right now with certain things? That's a hot topic nowadays and with CrossFitters, and these are things that I normally address here. Many of my CrossFitters, I put them through a screen, I identify the mobility versus stability or strength problems, easily solved in a matter of a visit or two, and they're back doing CrossFit. So number two is the structural errors, and you have to be able to identify these and solve them before you go back to training CrossFit. Number three, or actually number one, is the training errors, and this is something that does occur with CrossFit. You're going to train hard, you're going to train often, and if you do a little too much too soon or you overtrain one day, it may predispose you to an injury. But that's with any sport, so it's not just CrossFit. So being aware of your training errors, doing too much too soon, doing too much in one day, or training 5 days in a row because you're training for a competition or something along those lines. So those are the three things that cause CrossFit injuries: structural errors, training problems, and biomechanical flaws. So I hope you learned something from this video. If you're suffering from a CrossFit injury or you're dealing with an injury right now that's not letting you train CrossFit, give us a call. We'll get you in ASAP and we're here to help. Thank you for your time.